Good day, everyone. Today, we have got the pleasure to introduce Shrikant Navelkar, Director, Clover Infotech. Clover Infotech is a leading IT services and consulting company. They provide solutions and services across application and technology modernization, cloud enablement, data management, automation, and assurance services. For over 25 years now, they have been co-authoring transformational success for leading global enterprises and promising startups alike across geographies and industry verticals. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. We are here today to talk about how you are helping customers solve the analytics problems and be a catalyst to their growth. Welcome again, Shrikant.
Oh, thanks for having me over here.
Yeah, thanks. So let's start off. So one of the key aspects of any analytics project is the challenges that what one has to face handling it. So based on your experience, could you share some light on some of the key challenges you face while implementing an analytics project?
Sure, I would love to. See, one of the key challenge we face, or when we start with the project, is to set up the customer expectations right. So whenever a customer initiate analytics project, there are basically two spectrum of teams, who are looking at it in a very different way. The technology team, thinks that analytics means I should go up to the predictive analytics portion. Whereas the business users, they are too busy with their business operations. They would like to get actionable, results from the quick implementations.
Right.
So there is a gap in customers' expectation. The amount of time you need to spend on implementing the analytics projects vis-a-vis the kind of output you will get into this.
Right.
The second part is that the second challenge is that the cross learning between technology and the business functions.
Right.
And we strongly believe that there has to be a cross orientation between business and technology teams. Technology teams need to understand what kind of business problem they need to work on, through the analytics, and not just through the data. Whereas business team need to understand is that what is possible, what is not possible, what is what are the low hanging fruits, how they are going to implement it. So it's important that both the team need to work very closely, but more importantly, they need to have a cross orientation, training programs, small ones, before starting any analytics project. So first is the setting up the expectations right.
Absolutely.
Second is the having the cross orientation training program with this, and the third is it's a continuous learning process.
Yes.
I mean, the whole idea of analytics is giving the power of technology to the business users.
Correct.
I mean, if IT keeps that power with themselves, I don't think you will get the best out of the analytics projects.
Right.
So basically what IT needs to do over here is to initiate the project, create the templates, create the workspace, train the business user, give that tool to the business user to use that, and then go to the next level where they can solve the next complex project. So keeping everything together with IT, I mean, it's not a technology implementation. These are business implementations.
Yes.
And when you think about business implementation, it's important that how quickly you are educating your business users to do that. So there are a few more, but I thought, these are the key challenges we face, and we keep talking to the customers on these.
Yes, very, very well said, Shrikant. Absolutely, I agree with you. There's always this marriage that needs to happen between the technology teams and the business teams, so that there's a cohesiveness among them and the project becomes successful. Now, on the point of this analytics, right? So one other key challenge that I see is some of the predictive analytics or machine learning based requirements that you will have to handle, time and time again. So what has been your experience in terms of getting well-defined ML requirements, or is it that the customers like the buzzword, and then they just give you, I need a machine learning a feature in the in the solution. So how do you handle such a situation, Shrikant?
I think one of the important, I mean, you very rightly said that it is still a niche area with many customers, in terms of the machine learning and in terms of using the data science and data analytics in this.
Yes.
I think it's important for any IT team or implementation team, basically to tell them that, are you prepared, to utilize or to use the machine learning, techniques,
right.
With your data. Many times I have seen people take the approach from data to problem. I mean, I have so much of data with me, and which I have collected over the period of time, and I'm still keeping the big data outside, but just relational data I have. And then I try to see that what problem it can solve.
Right.
Whereas, there is a method where you can see, okay, this is my business problem, and which requires the proper data analytics, and then go back and see that what kind of data I would need. So I think the second approach from business to data, is very important.
Yes.
Once you set up that, then basically you have to train or discuss with your business users that which projects would need machine learning and which projects won't need machine learning.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not that every project would need machine learning. And one of the important aspects of machine learning is about the data curation and data, the quality of data. Right. Because it's all, about the statistical adjustment, and, any bad quality data can result into a wrong, interpretation of that.
Right.
So identifying which projects would need machine learning and which projects you can actually do it by meshing up the data, by doing the slice and dice of data where you don't need machine learning. So I think it's a step-by-step process where
right.
on one side you have to see that, can I first modernize my business intelligence on my reporting system, and can I standardize that? I mean, at many customers you have multiple business intelligence platform. So yes. We suggest the customers, let's standardize that first. Yes. Then let's look into it, which projects you would take along with the business intelligence to the next level, yes. Which projects you will utilize the machine learning and the kind of algorithms, which you write on that. So I think it's a step-by-step process, and again, close interaction with the business users, with the IT is mandatory over here.
Yes, excellent point, Shrikant. So you did mention about multiple business intelligence solutions and having to constantly communicate. I have a question around this. So in your experience, could you throw us some more light around for implementing an analytics project, right? How is your experience around using point solutions or open source and stitching them together into one overall heterogeneous project versus having a end-to-end data platform and using it to do all the activity, right, from data acquisition to the analytics? So could you share your experience?
Well, when we started working on analytics, obviously to reduce the cost of ownership, we looked into the many open source projects.
Right.
And there are plenty of open source projects available.
Yes.
Stitching those open source projects together, it's a challenge. Correct. But it's a great platform if you are actually, if your teams are learning. So actually you can use many of these open source technologies to see that how the data validation, data cleansing, the ready-made functions can be used, the statistical function can be used. But when the business or when you have to think about taking all the things in production environment, then I think it's important that you consider a platform which gives you right from data acquisition to the final reporting.
Yes.
If you have one platform to take care of that, you can save a lot of time in terms of stitching these various aspects of it. And if you have one platform, it can also run better, in terms of the performance, because a lot of these algorithms requires a lot of computing power. Right. And it's important that you have a very strong data platform for that. So our experience is that if you're absolutely new to analytics or maybe the advanced analytics, it's better to start with open source to learn few things.
Yes.
but quickly shift to the architecture, which is a proven architecture, right from the data acquisition to the final downstream analytics, you can have that. So we also did the same thing. I mean, for we did with R, we did with Python, we did with Solar, we did, we use many of those. But when we have to recommend something to the customer, we basically think for, the entire architecture where, you have one platform, to look into it. Some people may say that it is like locking yourself into that particular platform. But I would say that there's a great value to that, because then your time to make the analytics usable for the business user, that time can be reduced. And remember one thing: business users are very impatient.
Yes,
they are not going to give you enough time to implement those open source, to stitch those things. If something goes wrong, they won't accept the fact that it's open source, it's a community support. No, I think if you're serious about taking to the production level, for learning is great, but if you're taking to the production level, it makes sense to use the one platform.
Yes, absolutely right, Shrikant. I hope we could have had much more lengthier discussion around these topics, because it is interesting to both of us. But we have to conclude somewhere. So I would say it was very nice talking to you, Shrikant. Thank you very much for your chat, and all the very best in helping customers solving the data and analytics problems. Right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hoping to see you in another segment soon. Thanks a lot again, Shrikant.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.